Hello, good evening. My name is Juliana and I'm DevRel at NodeOps, and welcome to today's first live stream of CreateOS Lounge. We did a couple of these before, but it's my first one, and it's a little bit different from the streams that I normally do because it is going to be loungy. I've been calling it vibey vibe coding, and the purpose of it is to have fun. And we're going to explore new technologies. There's going to be a less strict agenda. In the past, when I've done a live stream, usually I have everything prepared ahead of time, make sure that the tech is working. But this time, it's going to be much more relaxed. So the purpose is to have fun, explore new technology, and to hang out with you guys. Now, for today's live stream, I did prepare like a general direction to get started in. So as you can tell right here, it's OpenClaw and templates. I don't know how far I'm going to get in the next hour. Generally speaking, what I'm going to do is deploy an OpenClaw and then try and templatize a vibe coded project. In the future, I'm open to vibe coding anything we think of together. So if you're here in the chats, please let me know, say hi, tell me where you're coming in from, and if you have any questions, just type it in. And I have the chat open, and if I see it, I will try and respond live. If not, there's always a Q&A session at the end. So let's get started vibe coding. All right, here we are. We are looking at my desktop, and usually I start these. Let me grab the mic. So it is evening time here in New York, about 8 p.m. And usually I start these live streams. Let me make this bigger with a general agenda. But because it is CreateOS Lounge, I am going to, this is not something strict, but so you guys have an idea of like what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to start with deploying OpenClaw on NodeOps. We are going to connect it to Telegram. We are going to chat with it. And we're going to set up a skill. The skill part is interesting. We'll get as far as we can with this. And if we have time, maybe I want to get started on templating. So for my last stream, I created an app called, I was kind of calling it Kelly Rowland Excel Text. And that is a play off of a meme. If you ever know, did you know the music video for Nelly's Dilemma? In Nelly's Dilemma, which he sings with Kelly Rowland, she is texting him on a sidekick. And when they zoomed into her phone, she's actually texting from an Excel. I thought it was hilarious. So I vibe coded a project where you can create private encrypted channels using WebSockets in the format of an Excel sheet. It's a super cool app. We like it. I've actually spiffied it up in the last week or so. And the next step is to templatize it. What does that mean? So templatizing it is actually turning it into a Docker image and then listing it onto the NodeOps marketplace so that other people can deploy my project and I can earn income from it. That is key. Now we can vibe code our projects, templatize it, make money off of it. This is the whole pipeline there, but we don't know if we're going to get there today. But if we do, that is the plan. So templatizing my vibe coded app and then listing, actually submitting it to NodeOps marketplace to earn money. Okay. So that is the general plan. Let's get started. So right now we're looking at CreateOS. This is kind of small. The first thing I'll do is set up OpenClaw. OpenClaw, let me give you some background information and what I've learned from it so far. It was originally called ClawBot, claw as in like lobster claw, and then it was changed to Moltbot, and then it was changed to OpenClaw. And throughout the last week, it was like what everybody was talking about. It was so big that people were buying Mac Minis. It was messing with the stock market prices. It was so big, and people are still very excited about it. It was promised as the agent that can actually do stuff and actually be useful to your day-to-day life. And the only way it can be useful is if it has access to your personal data. And that invited a lot of like talks about security, vulnerabilities, like, do you trust this thing into the wild with access to the internet with all of your credentials? So there's a lot of like best practices, don't deploy it on your personal machine, put it in an isolated environment, don't give it all of your credentials, give it fake credentials. The general consensus here right now is to treat it as if it was a junior employee, something that you don't really trust to have access to keys to the kingdom yet. And I would actually take it a step further. I would actually treat it as a totally separate person, not as yourself. So don't give it your WhatsApp credential, don't give it your Telegram. In fact, just give it a fake number. Give it its own identity. I mean, if it's AI, if it's AGI, it's its own person anyway. Maybe. So let's get started. I'm going to deploy OpenClaw. Right now we're on CreateOS. The first thing we're going to do is log in. Okay, so I'm all logged in. I'm going to come down to applications. Right here, applications. And then on the top left, there's OpenClaw. And it says deploy now. If it has been deployed, it's going to say open app. Okay, I get to decide the storage here. Let's do 10 GBs for memory. Looks good to me. And it is deploying. This is one of those first live streams where I intentionally didn't have anything prepared because we're going to do this live. So we may have to sit in silence for a little bit. I thought about setting up a game so I can play, but we can also just sit back and relax and wait. It's been about a minute. Let me refresh. Still going. In fact, actually, while we're here, I'm gonna, oh, it's open already. I was just about to pull up a game. Okay, I'm gonna hit open app. And I've got some credentials here. Cool. Let me copy these actually. I'm gonna copy that. Put that somewhere safe. And click Open App. Oh, cool. So let me click View Guide to see what I gotta do next. So the guide is really cool. There is a video that's really helpful. So if you're ever lost, you can just watch this video. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go straight to the setup wizard. All right, we're gonna do step 1, OpenClaw onboard. I'm gonna do Control Copy. And very straightforward, go through all of the steps. There's only 3 steps, I think. All right, and then paste. So this is OpenClaw onboard. Wow, this is super tiny. There. And go. Is it doing anything? I'm gonna rewatch the video. All right, they deployed. They launched the app. We're in the terminal. We're looking at guides. Copying the first command. Yeah, so far I'm doing it right. I should get here. It's here. Okay, so entered OpenClaw onboard, and now we are on the onboarding process. OpenClaw is a hobby project. Least privileged tools, correct. Okay. It's asking, this is a powerful and inherently risky software. Continue or not? We're going to continue. I'm going to go with quick start. And here we go. We're going to select the model. I have Anthropic. So let me pull up my Anthropic API key. Here we go. I'm going to come up here and click, I'm going to create a new key. Click Create Key, and then I will name it Lounge OpenClaw. And that is my new key. Put it somewhere safe again. And close it up. Cool. Now that I have the key, I'm going to go back to the screen and then select Anthropic API key. And paste. Control V, paste. Okay. Then we get to choose our model. I'm going to go with the default. And we're going to set up Telegram. So I'm going to go with Telegram bot API. Enter. And now it's asking for the Telegram bot API. If you've never set up a Telegram bot, it is super fun. So let's do it together. Okay. So first, you must have Telegram. You must have a Telegram account. And I'm going to show my screen. You may see some of my chats. It's okay. It's okay. You guys are all my friend. All right. So you are going to DM a bot called BotFather. How do I make this bigger? I cannot. Anyway, you DM a bot called the BotFather, right? And then you create a new bot. So I've been using this for years, so I have a ton of bots. So let's create a new bot together. Super easy. Okay, click open over here, and then click create new bot. And then I'll give it a name. Let's call it Lounge OpenClaw. Okay. And then you're going to also, so the name is the name. It's just the title. But the username of the bot must end in BOT, bot. So in this case, I'm just going to do lounge underscore OpenClaw bot. And it's available. The name is available. So it's going to be t.me/lounge underscore OpenClaw underscore bot. This is the name of my bot. And this is the Telegram URL that I can share and people can now interact with my bot. I'm going to create the bot. All right, so now that it's been created, it actually generates an API key. I can copy this. I can bring it into here. Before I get there, I'm just going to quickly go over these little options here. You can edit. You can give it a picture. You can give it a name. It can also accept payment. And you can do mini apps. The world of Telegram bots is super cool. It's kind of like a little application in itself. So you can give it like custom commands, like program what commands it accepts, what it knows, and then, yeah. All right. So we've got our API key. I've got it. I'm going to come over here and paste. Cool. And that's cool. So all of my credentials are saved in these files, home, and then hidden folder called OpenClaw. I've looked at these files already. It's kind of cool. I think we can look at them together. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if we did that. All right, let's continue. Configuring skills. Yes, let's do it together. I like NPM. And now we can choose the skills. By the way, you don't have to do it now. There's a way to set up skills just by chatting with it through Telegram. I would set up MCP Porter. And I think a useful one would be Google Workplace, but then I'll have to set up an identity for it, a whole Google email. I don't feel like doing that right now. Blog Watcher is useful. Okay, I'm just going to stick to this for now, and then I'll show you how to give it more skills later when we're talking to it through Telegram. Wow. Also, if you go to Claw Hub, we're going to look up Claw Hub. So there's a lot more skills than what's in that list. Claw Hub is where all the publicly published skills are. You can absolutely create your own skill, and it's all open source. So Claw Hub is, you can filter by how many people download it, how many stars it has, and you can just filter by the summary. So for example, let's say you're looking for something that looks at news. It would pull up all the skills that OpenClaw can take, like news summary, news aggregator, Hacker News, and it'll tell you what it does. Browse Hacker News. Market analysis. So lots and lots of skills. It's kind of a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, but that's Claw Hub. I'm gonna go back to my agent, and just for fun, let me just show you what most people are setting up. So what most people are setting up is this one right here, WACLI. This is the WhatsApp Messenger. So things it can do is like send and I think read or summarize your WhatsApp messages. I haven't set this one up yet because I don't want to give it access to me yet. But that's really cool. It also has access, if you give it access to GOG, which is the Google Workplace, you can give it access to your own emails, and then it can write your emails for you, read your emails for you, kind of do things like an assistant would do for you. So those are interesting. But for today, I'm just going to do MC Porter. Cool. I'm going to hit enter. Looks like we're installing MC Porter. I don't remember selecting go places, so I'm going to hit no. Nope. I'm just hitting no for everything. Okay, it's asking enable bash shell completion for OpenClaw. Yes. Oh, hey, Final Spartan. Did you just get here? You're sending a waving emoji, so I'm going to just wave back at you. Okay, onboard is complete. So we are using the tokenized dashboard link above. Oh, been here a few minutes. Nice. Have you tried OpenClaw yet? That's a question for you, Final Spartan. All right, so we have a dashboard for OpenClaw. We can absolutely take a look at this. And there's no GUI, but there is a terminal UI, TUI. All right, cool. We're all done. Now, let's go back to the guide. I bet you forgot that there was a guide I was following. We just did step 1. Now let's do step 2. No way, you've contributed to OpenClaw. That's so cool. What have you contributed? Curious. Okay, I'm going to copy this, go to step 2, and I'm going to go here and paste. Okay, so we have a record of it. Final Spartan is inside of this live stream who has contributed to OpenClaw. Anybody who's watching this live stream in the future or right now, introducing Final Spartan. Okay, I'm going to paste that again and hit enter. What did I do? This must be running to respond. Okay, that's done. So step 2 was the connection engine. It says that something must be running for it to respond to my Telegram or WhatsApp messages. Now I'm going to select this, message my bot on Telegram. The bot will reply with a parent code. Let's do it. Telegram bot is Lounge OpenClaw. Oh. Final Spartan responded. I fixed a broken MCP integration when using it with a Llama server. Wow, that's awesome. Actually, the one skill that I am installing today is MC Porter. So follow along and see if you can spot an error. If you do, please fix it. Okay, so coming back to my Telegram bot, I'm going to send it a message. So now we're chatting to my bot, the bot that we just created together. I'm going to hit start. And wow, that was instant. I've got a Telegram user ID and a parent code. Perfect. Now I copy step 3. I'm going to copy OpenClaw, this command, send it the channel and the code. Take it into the terminal, paste, and I need to give it the channel, which is Telegram, and the code. Okay, there, that's it. Awesome, approved. What's the next step? We can take a look at Terminal UI. I'm gonna copy this and hit paste. So today's session is the CreateOS Lounge session, which is much more relaxed and not as regimented. Most of the time, we're just like vibe coding and chilling. And the idea is to have fun, explore new technology, and just hang out. We're gonna be doing more of these like regular hangout sessions, and basically there's no agenda other than just to vibe code and get it deployed. Today just happens to be OpenClaw day, and if we have time, what is it, like 8:30 now? If we have time, I was gonna try and templatize one of the projects that I vibe coded last week. So OpenClaw today though. Next week, who knows? Okay, so OpenClaw TUI is not the GUI, but the TUI. Rather than a graphical user interface, it is a terminal user interface. That's the limitation with deploying it in an isolated, in the NodeOps environment. But the TUI is more than enough. Okay, so the TUI is open. I'm going to go back into the guide and maybe do like a health check. Okay. I have to Control-C to exit out of the TUI. Okay, and that's my status. All right. The next step is to just chat with it now. Now let's go into Telegram and say hi. So, hello. Did you just see that? So I said hello, it responded to me, and it said, LLM, oh no. says LLM request rejected. Your credit balance is too low to access the Anthropic API. So this is an issue with my Anthropic API. But you see the server in the background. We got a ping. So there is a successful connection here. Let's go debug my API key though. So this is the thing with unchartered like Hangout sessions that we never know what's going to come up. We're just going to debug it together. I remember this was like maybe a year ago. I set up my Claude API to reach a limit of $5. I think. Oh, I've set it to $100. Okay, this is why. I have to load my balance. So last year I gave it $27. Okay, here we go. I need to buy credits. Let me give it $25. All right, $27.50. Let's go. Woo! My account has money. Okay, that means I should be able to go back here and talk to the chat now. Gee. So I'm gonna say hello again. And if you can see here, my bot has a typing sign, so it's processing. Oh, did you see that? It just said, hey, it just came online, literally brand new, no name, no memories, nothing yet. So it's first gonna establish itself. I'm gonna respond to it and give it a name and stuff. But before we get there, I did promise that I was gonna show you some of the core files, like how OpenClaw is run. So you can actually customize it part of the way. So let me do Control-C to exit. There we are. Okay. So just for funsies, let's do an ls and then a. So we're gonna go into the root directory. So cd squiggly line. I'm gonna do an lsla, and we're gonna go into this folder here, .openclaw. I'm gonna cd into .openclaw, do an lsla again, and this is the fun part. Was it? Its identity is, I think, stored in a JSON file. Wait, I forgot where it was, so I'm just going to quickly go into agents, do an ls. Nope. Identity, perhaps? No. Maybe in openclaw.json? No. Workspace? Yes, there it is. Okay, so it's inside a folder called Workspace. Here is like 5 or 6 markdown files, and this is what the agent is reading its identity from. It has like markdowns on the tools it has access to, the user, which is you, like whoever's speaking to it, and then identity, heartbeat, agent. So let's take a look at the files. just remember we're starting with a brand new slate, so it doesn't have a lot of it doesn't even have a name, but it's trying to figure it out. Its goal is to figure out its name. So I'm just curious. This is something I would do if I was playing with it. I wanted to see what's in these files. So I'm just gonna do cat agents.md. Oh, this is such a terrible way to look at these files. It's such a wall of text. Okay, there it is. So agents.md in the workspace is it says it's the like directions for how it gets started. First thing it does is run bootstrap.md. This, if you run bootstrap, it's basically saying like, what's my name? How do I find out who I'm talking to? You know. After that, it will update these files. Soul is who it is. User is who you're helping, and it's like keeping like a running log of what it's spoken to you about in this file here. Memory with the date. These are all just text files. You can absolutely go in and edit them. You can always change up like the agent you're speaking to. Okay. It also has a memory MD. Okay. So we go through each of the files. Let's take a look at Soul. Okay. So I think a lot of us are looking for something that responds and is useful, but if there's anything specific that you're looking for, you can go in here and change up the vibe, change up its boundaries, change its core truths. You're totally free to mess with this agent. And let's take a look at identity. Okay. Yep. So it's looking for a name, emoji, and stuff. All right. So these files are pretty much brand new right now. Brand spanking new. And as we speak to it through Telegram, it's going to update these files itself. So let's go back to Telegram and give it a name. This is super tiny. I wish I could make it bigger. I guess I'll read it out loud. It's saying, hey, I just came online, brand new, no name, no memories, nothing yet. So who are you? More importantly, who should I be? I need a name, a vibe, maybe a signature emoji. Got any ideas that we should figure out together? All right, so I'm going to give it a name. You can also say like, make up your own name. So we can try that too. Let's make it give it its own name. Okay. All right, I'm saying you can create a name for yourself. Let's see how it responds. It named itself Wren, as in a bird. Warm. Okay, cool. I didn't even give it its name. It just knows my name because that's what I call myself on Telegram. All right, sounds good. Now, the next thing I want to do is try and give it a skill. We've already set up MC Porter, so we can try and install that now. But just so you know, you can always like set up the skills through chatting it. So let's say like I'm interested, and so I'm actually talking to the agent now. I'm interested in skills for getting the latest news. Okay. It didn't respond, so let's take a look at the TUI. Oh, we got disconnected. Let me open it again. Looks like our instance is down. Close, open app. Okay. This is a true live stream moment. So, server is down. I can't interact with my bots. Yeah, no response. It is down. Well, in cases like these, I would wait for it to come back up because there's isn't an option to take it down. And I can't check the logs. I can only access it through the link. All right, so while that's loading, I think it's time to shift gears. We have about 15 minutes left of the stream. Wait, what is this emoji? Lol. I know. I know. I know, it happens. Lol, lol, lol. What are we gonna do? We'll come back for part 2. What did you say? Haha, it's okay, it happens, I know. Don't worry. Much more embarrassing things have happened to me before. Like one time I was doing something live in front of an audience of 100 people, software did not work. And all I could say was like, I'm sorry, I can't live debug it now. But best I can do is switch gears and still provide value while we're hanging out here. And this is just what happens when you're live streaming. Like it's gonna happen. But that's the thing. Like I think the beauty of building in public is that bugs happen, we fix it or work past it, and life keeps going. So what do we have? 15 minutes left. All right, last 15 minutes, I'll probably just do a quick overview of the app I vibe coded last week, which was, let me go back to CreateOS. Lol. Which was my Kelly Rowland Excel text meme projects. I'm gonna log out of this account and log into my other one. And the reason I'm showing you now is I want to show you what this project is first, and then we'll talk about it. So this project is a WebSocket messenger. It's an encrypted channel. You can create rooms. There's no state to it. There's nothing that's being kept, and that's what keeps it secure. Let me give you an example. So let's say my name is, I don't know, Final Spartan. And then I'm going to create a room and give it a name. Let's call it, fail, F-A-I-L. So this is now the password to the room I'm creating. I'm going to click create room, and sorry, all these pops up. So now I'm in an Excel spreadsheet, but this is now a channel that someone can join. So there's a list of users over here. So me, I'm here, Final Spartan. This is my room ID, and I can leave the room. So if I take this URL and then I give it to somebody on the internet, right? Or I can just actually create, because there's no state. So I can actually I could do it right here from inside of my browser. And then I can select join room. So I'm going to give it my name. My name is Juliana. And I'm going to give it the room ID. So let's go back to this room, copy this room ID, bring it over here, and give it F-A-I-L. Click join room. And voila, I am now inside the room with Final Spartan. And this is now a chat. So hello, I'm Juliana. Okay. And then I can go back here, pretend like I'm Final, and be like, hello, my name is Final Spartan. Cool. So now this is an encrypted channel between these two via WebSocket. There's nothing being saved. You can check the browser. There's no cookies. This is just, if I refresh, it's gone. Right. I'm going to actually refresh it. So it's gone. See? I have no history of what's happening. But you go back to my chat, I still have it because I haven't refreshed yet. So this is great for quick communications, quick comms. I like this project because WebSockets are hella cool. What is it? Final says, is it peer-to-peer? Yes, kind of, in a sense. You can only speak to, there's nothing being saved, if that makes sense. So this is being hosted on NodeOps infrastructure. There's no state, and as it crosses through the server, it's not being saved within that server, if that makes sense, which is in between. Yeah. Then I can go into here and check the users, and I can see there's 2 people here. So what happened to get into your channel? So let's do a third chat, and let's call it a bad actor. Let's do another tab. The bad guy. And this guy does not have your password, okay? I'm going to join the room, give it a name, and now the bad guy. So let's say I have your room. I copy the room ID, and I don't know your passphrase. Okay, that's clearly the wrong passphrase. So bad guy has joined the room. I could say, hey guys, I'm totally a good guy, right? Now let's go back to the other channels. What happens? I can see that there's a bad guy in the room with us. You know, there's now 3 people. But everything they're saying is not decryptable. And they also can't see what we're saying. So if I'm still the good person, I'm Juliana, and I'm talking to Final, I'm like, hey, who the hell are you? And I go back to bad guy's chat, he can't even see what I'm typing. So this channel is really great for like just quick communication. What's cool about this project is that you cannot deploy this on Vercel. Vercel, even though this project is like, it's entirely WebSockets, there's no backend, Vercel cannot handle WebSockets. So this is what's unique about NodeOps infrastructure. We have about 10 minutes left. What I was planning to do is to turn this into a Docker image and then list it into the NodeOps marketplace so that anybody who wants a version of this app can pay for it. So, any questions? Any questions? No questions? All right, I'm gonna go into my cursor now. And I'll show you what I've done to it in the past week. I don't think we have enough time, but I'll show you what I've done to it so far because I wanted it to be a little bit prettier. Where's my cursor? Okay, there's my project. These are my files, and as you can tell, there's only one file, server.js. And if we look at, just keep all my changes. If we look at the command for npm start, it's literally just node server.js. There's one file which handles all of it. It's largely just a front-end application. So let's do npm start. What is happening here? I think my machine is laggy. It's so slow. Okay, opening a new terminal is not going to help. Nothing's working for me today. Okay, finally. I just want to run npm start. Oh no, I already have something running on port 3000, one of my other projects. Let me shut down that server. Okay, and do that again. All right, here we are. Whoop. And bam. That is my project, localhost 3000. I changed the front end because I wanted people to get the reference for the meme, which was, Kelly Rowland in the music video for Dilemma by Nelly. In it, she is texting somebody through a sidekick in an Excel spreadsheet. So this is funny because you can't text people through Excel, obviously, which is why her boo was not answering. So that's the meme. I'm trying to make it as obnoxious as possible. And just like before, the front end is still the same. You set your name, you set your password, and you can also, still the same. Now that we have the code, we can now Dockerize it. Yes. It all makes sense now. That's right. If you have time, I encourage you to rewatch Nellie's Dilemma. It's such like a throwback, rewatch the video and then literally zoom in to when she is like sitting at the doorway and she, if you see what she's texting, she typed in, "Where you at? Holler when you get this." It says holler when you get this. Obviously, he doesn't get it. And then that's the song. It's the dilemma. Anyway, we've solved it with my vibe coded app, Now you can get it if you have the right password. Okay. What do we have? We have like 4 minutes left. We're out of time. All right, let's prioritize here. So what I was going to do next is to Dockerize it from inside of my cursor. And after that, I publish it into my public Docker, and then we will go through the process of listing it on the marketplace. But I think we're going to end it here. That's clearly not enough time for me to even run a single command. So let's do like a quick Q&A session. I feel like Final is like the only one in this room. I think that's cool. That's okay. I like hanging out with someone and not just talking to myself. Let me pop back over here. So this was my first CreateOS Lounge vibe coding session, I've been calling it. We tried OpenClaw. We tried templates a little bit. We didn't really finish either, but there's always next week's session. This is our first one, my first one, and it's supposed to be like kind of like an open-ended chill session. Oh, we have a question. But before I answer this though, let me finish out what this is. So this is a live coded live stream session, and the purpose is to explore new technology, have fun, and vibe code. So this is actually going to segue into this, how I'm going to answer this. So what is CreateOS and NodeOps? NodeOps is a peer-to-peer infrastructure system. So can you imagine like just a bunch of servers connected? You can also offer compute to our network. And what do we do with this network of infrastructure? Well, there is CreateOS, which is, we just deployed it, I think. Days ago. It was #1 on product hunts. And so, yay. And it is kind of like an end-to-end solution for vibe coders. From CreateOS, you can vibe code a product, you can deploy it, you can also list it. And our infrastructure handles that entire process. You can also, like this project, Kelly, I vibe coded it from within Cursor using a Claude API, and then I just made a GitHub and connected it to CreateOS. CreateOS can also do that too. So you can vibe code through CreateOS. You can also connect your GitHub and deploy your project that way. You can also deploy other people's templates. So this is if you wanted to deploy my Kelly Rowland Excel project, you can also deploy like my template there too. Does that answer CreateOS? Yeah, that's what it is. So this session is, these weekly sessions are essentially like an open-ended way of like using CreateOS, like demonstrating how to use it, what it's capable of doing, and vibe code the dumbest projects I can think of. I have a couple more up my sleeve, but I'm also open to whoever wants me to vibe code something like live. If you have an idea, just put it in the chat and I will try and vibe code it. I think it's fun. We can totally fail together. So thank you for that question, Final. Any other questions? All right, we are at the end of the live stream. Oh, Thank you. I think it's a good idea too. It's fun. I do want to get to know people. I want to hang out with you guys and, make this a regular thing. So thank you for joining.